Welcome everyone to this edition of the CredeCast, and this is your host, the Self-Supremacy, the one and only Everett Creed. And ladies and gentlemen, this week we got a very special edition for you because I am joined here not only by somebody that I have been in the ring with many occasions, including Ultimate Redemption, one half of T.O.P, Rick Rios.
Hello, hello.
What's going on, Rick? How you doing?
What's going on?
Not much. Doing all right. But I am also here with the final KBW World Heavyweight Champion, your big-time World Heavyweight Champion, the man that will be facing Rick Rios at our upcoming event, NAPW WrestleCon.
Whatever.
Yes, sir. It's a glory to be here live on the CredeCast, which goes big time once again. It's the second time I've been on the CredeCast, and the best one yet. And for God's sakes, get the water boy out of here. Why we got him on the show, Creed? Why did you have him on my show? You called me and said, Mike, I'm going to have you on the show. And I said, show, cool, great. And I come on here and I see the water boy here. I'm like, what's going on? I mean, hell, you dropped your head ever since you get not the CEO no more. What's wrong with you? Jesus Christ.
I honestly, there's a lot that I got to get off my chest. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that have been talking about the saga of the Self-Supremacy promo, but, for those I've offended on a personal note, I do apologize. But, I definitely had to do what I had to do to get over. That's the worst, the best and the worst way to put it, Now, there was a lot of talk on Twitter. There was a lot of discussions on Twitter about the word competition. And I know this word has been blowing up a lot. I just want to say that competition, as far as a professional note, yes, it is there. And we're all striving to be the best. But we're not striving to be better than one another on a personal note. And I just want to make sure that everybody realizes that it's all friendly, it's all mutual, and it's respectful. It's not, I'm doing this to be better than you, you suck, I rule. No, that's not how it is. And I just want to make sure that everybody knows that's where I stand on it. I'm sure that's where these two guys stand on it, too. The best BYW has to offer. Rick, would you agree?
I think
I most certainly agree.
Okay.
All right. Mike, you?
I was going to say that I think competition helps us grow, and if we don't have anything to help us grow, then we remain the same. If you stay the same and you're spinning your wheels, you're not getting better, and we're not growing stronger as a community and as a team. But then, of course, then you have Rick Rios, so that's what it is.
Yeah, well, and I'm sure Rick Rios is going to have words on as well.
We have plenty of time. Don't worry. I'll take my time getting into this.
Gene, did you bring his note cards? Okay, I'm sure he really appreciates that.
All right, we got some comments here. Drew Hood says, and he may be having issues of ring rust. I guess he's, I don't know which one of the three he's talking about. Cameron Jackson says, welcome to CJE. We get more viewers than half and half. Well, that's because
our show is half and half, folks.
Oh, man. He's always just got to take the shots. But I will say this, though. I was watching the latest edition on half and half, and I was going to bring this up later on in the show, but I got to mention it now. There was, obviously there was the Backyard Wrestling Fix half, but on the Big Time Talk Show half, right around the end, there was a poem that was put out. And Mike, can you please do me a favor? And for the people that haven't seen this live, and I know Rick Rios hasn't either, would you please recite this poem, the beautiful poem, to us, the CredeCast here?
Let me find it. It's in my folder where I keep all my master plans. But yes, this poem was sent in by a fan, our #1 fan. I'm not gonna state his name. His last name is starts with a T, so I'm not gonna even give his name out. But he wrote myself and Cameron Jackson a poem. It's called "The Beautiful Poem." So, if you please, let's start this. I go to bed in Los Angeles thinking about you. Pissing a few moments ago, I look down at my penis affectionately. Knowing it has been inside you not once, but twice today makes me feel beautiful. Bravo. So whoever sent that poem in, and I know him, but you guys don't know him, he's a great guy. He's obviously got his head in the right place, and that could mean more than one thing. So
that's the work of Langston Hughes.
Yeah, Langston Hughes.
Oh man, Rick, what are your thoughts about that poem?
Those are my thoughts. Those are my thoughts.
God damn.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. Now, I just got a question. Everett, where's your neck? My neck is right below the nameplate. So, I got my own nameplate here. See, everybody else is supposed to have a nameplate for the CredeCast, but you see, what happened is that Drew Hood and Kevin Shaw couldn't make it work. So, we're just going to take it from there.
Everywhere today, aren't we? Just making friends everywhere.
Absolutely. Now, I mean, there has been so much amped up. I mean, I know Fury has now passed us, Broken Glory has passed us, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, for that matter, has passed us. But upcoming is WrestleCon, and that's one of the biggest, if not the biggest, reasons why I have you, Big Time Mike, and you, Rick Rios, here. So I'm going to start with Mike on this one. Mike, what are your thoughts going into WrestleCon against my other guest here on the CredeCast, Rick Rios?
Well, I've said it before, and I'll say it again, Everett. The fact of the matter is that WrestleCon has been renamed to the Big Time Mike Show because when you put Big Time Mike on the card, it's all about me. So once I step onto that card and onto the press conference, our little setup we got going on, then I step inside the ring, or even outside the ring for that matter, it's going to be the Big Time Mike Show. And come WrestleCon, Rick Rios is going to find out what it's like to be beat like a man. Rick Rios is going to have his daddy come home and whip his ass and send him to bed and make him take into the wide hotel.
And Rick, your thoughts on the situation at hand? What are your thoughts about going into WrestleCon, perhaps one of, if not the biggest match of your career, with the exception of facing me, of course, at Ultimate Redemption, against Big Time Mike at WrestleCon?
Mike, how often do you even wrestle, bro? I wrestle almost every single... Shut up, I'm talking. Every single week. Now, what makes you think you're going to be able to keep up with someone who's fresh, who's always keeping his A game strong, meanwhile you're sitting on your ass doing nothing?
Well, I'm not sitting on my ass. I work out every day. I cut promos every day. I develop the character every day. I go to work every day. I come home, I drop an elbow, throw a suplex, lock in the BTA, break some ankle, whip some ass, and talk trash while I do it, Rick Rios. You see, I don't have to have a company where I'm on every single week. Because as soon as I step in front of this camera, it's already given that I deserve a spot. It's already given that Big Time Mike deserves more than what he gets. So unlike you, who has to work each and every day in UWE, I don't need that. All I got to do is step in front of this camera and run my mouth, and it's already laid out for me. It's already laid out for me. The good man upstairs has got it laid out for me. And come WrestleCon, you're going to see exactly what that means, you piece of trash.
Sure.
All right. Very, very good. Now, let's see. Ooh, interesting comments here. First off, we got a comment from the official channel of APW. We could say whoever runs that channel, but I believe the opinion may be the same of one Jason Walker. Rick Rios has got a great point. Mike might have ring rust. Now,
Might? He might? You know damn well he does, whether he admits it or not. You know you're rusty, Mike.
Rusty? Okay, let me just go ahead and get a step down memory lane here. Do you remember at Best in the Yard, everybody said Big Time Mike is going to have ring rust. And what happened every Creed? Big Time Mike whooped Drew Hood's ass. Everybody said Big Time Mike was going to have ring rust coming into Halloween Hangover 5. And what did Big Time Mike do? He whipped his ass. Now, of course, I had a cramp in my leg, so therefore I went down in Tyler Storm.
So what happened at that Fatal 5 match?
Fatal 5 where I had to find my money and my money on Cameron Jackson. I've already said that time and time again. But there's no ring rust here. There was no ring rust at Blood, Sweat, and Tears. I won. I defeated 3 of them in one night, so I don't want to hear it, you piece of shit.
Now,
1, 2, and the 3 on your back.
Now, Rick Rios, it was down. It was down to Rick Rios and Big Time Mike in the FBW 5-man elimination match, and Rick Rios was the victor. So, Mike, are we going to see Rick Rios have a repeat at WrestleCon, or are we going to see a different changing of the guard? Are we going to see it flipped at WrestleCon?
A repeat of WrestleCon?
Everett, this is all I'm going to say. Rick Rios, you got lucky at FBW 5-man. You got lucky. The fact of the matter is that come WrestleCon, there's not going to be any luck. There's not going to be any Superman punches because I've already banned that. That's out of the way. There ain't going to be no TJs Car interfering. It's just going to be me and you one-on-one. I'm going to step in that ring, and I'm going to whip your ass and talk trash while I do it. It's not going to be a repeat of FBW 5-man. It's going to be the Big Time Mike Show. And on the Big Time Mike Show, Big Time Mike always gets the win.
All right, now first off, Drew Hood. I gotta confront Drew Hood here. He says, Everett, how does it feel playing the third wheel right now? I am not the third wheel. I am the host of the CredeCast. See, unlike last edition of the Half and Half, you see, I actually have good guests on my show. I don't have a bunch of marks. You see, I have the Rick Rios. I have the Big Time Mike. I don't have two. Never will be out of a tag team out of Ecstasy. I've beaten Ecstasy before, and I will beat them again. So.
Throwing shots at me.
Might I add something real quick? In that fatal 5-way match, Mike, the only move you did to me that really hurt was the BTA. But now that's illegal in our match.
No, I
what's in your mind now, Mike?
Nor did the elbow. Nor did the splash. I don't need all these moves, Rick. I've already told you. I've said it time and time again. I drop an elbow, I can't lock in the big chain.
Talk trash while I do it.
That's it, Rick. That's all I need. I don't got to do 50,000 other things, Rick. That's it.
Now, Mike, I got to ask, because, you know, Rick Rios did ban the BTA, but there was a question earlier. I believe it was asked by none other than Drew Hood. Yes. Now, Mike, why ban the Super Knuckle Sandwich? Why not the NATO?
Because it's a disgrace. It's a damn Superman punch. It's a disgrace. What the hell? I mean, hell, it looks like he got it out of a cereal box. I know where he got it from, but I'm not going to say anything about it. Goddamn unoriginal piece of trash.
Double R got it from Double R.
He picked me up and tossed me like a pizza. He did it one time I was on Weight Watchers. I'm not on Weight Watchers no more, Rick. I see you already passed it over to me. You can't pick me up and toss me like a pizza. You can't do it. You can't do it, Rick. You're a sorry piece of trash. See, in this world, there are two types of people. There are big people, and there are little people. And you, sir, in the eyes of Big Time Mike, are a little person. And come WrestleCon, it's going to show up like it does in modern-day history. The big people are going to squash the little people. And I'm going to send your fat ass right on packing back to UWE. And that's all I got to say about that.
Man, this is lighting up. I remember we started this show and there was no viewers. Now we got 7. Now we're down to 6. But I bet that was one of the guys from Ecstasy. Now, moving on ahead. We got Cameron Jackson who makes a good point. Mike, don't take Rick lightly. He is the oxymoron of backyard wrestling. He can brawl, get technical, and fly. He is simply BYW's hybrid. But Rick, Mike is a tough bastard. He's got what not a lot of have, and that's heart. So at WrestleCon, we are going to have hybrid versus heart, which would be the tagline. But we didn't, you know, the APW doesn't have taglines for WrestleCon, so we're going to have them here. Now, Rick Rios, I asked Mike about why he banned the Superman punch. I'm going to ask you now. I know it is his move to finish, the big time ankle lock, the BTA. So, Rick, why do you feel it's an advantage that you have banned the BTA from this match? What was your strategy behind banning the BTA?
Well, I certainly knew from my prior match with him that that move hurts a lot. Like, to the point, he does almost break your ankle every single time he locks that in. And that became a huge consideration for me, seeing how that could be the one thing to make Rick Rios tap out. But, see, I have to give him his credit there. But that is no longer a factor of this match. Like Cameron said, I am a brawler. I can get very technical. I can fly. I don't care how big you are, Big Time. If I want to put you on my shoulders and deliver a Rios rotation device, you damn well I will pick you up and, like the Planet Fitness commercials, put you down.
Now, Mike, I gotta clarify the difference, because I know a lot of people, and I know it's gonna probably happen in the comment section. What is the difference between the NATO and the Rios rotation device? There is actually a pretty devastating difference. The NATO is what I like to call, well, a lot of people like to call the F5, the Cyclone. It is the Fireman's Carry 180 DDT, if you want to call it that. The Rios rotation device is when he has you in an Argentine clutch like he did at Ultimate Redemption. I will be the first man to admit that that is a circus ride that you do not want to take. So that is very devastating. And Mike, without a shadow of a doubt, if he's able to pull that off at WrestleCon, this may be the move that puts you out. Mike, I got to ask, if he's looking for that Rios rotation device, I mean, the NATO's one thing, but if he looks for that Rios rotation device, what are your thoughts about that?
Well, like a smart man once told me, you take the big man's legs out, he goes down. But in this case, this ain't a big man, it's a little man. So the only thing I have to say is, Rick, I hope you got eyes in the back of your head because I want you to remember something. We go to Altoona, Pennsylvania exactly 4 days before we step in that ring. And a whole hell of a lot can happen in 4 days, bad boy. And don't you also forget there's a contract signing. That me and you will be signing a contract that my glorious attorney Joanne told me to sign. So there's a lot that can happen in 4 days, Ricky Poo. So I hope you got some big-ass eyes in the back of that big-ass head.
All right. Well, guys, you know, we're going to take a break from the seriousness. We're going to have a little bit of fun. It's time for one of the traditional CredeCast segments. And this first one here is called PWL. Now, I know there's a lot of people that, you know, in their younger years, they'll come up with 3 girls, and they'll name 3 girls, and you got to pick one to marry, one to kill, and one to, you know, talk trash while you do it. And, you know, I got to say that I want to really put this in a wrestling term. So, I'm going to name you 3 backyard wrestling superstars. One of them, you're going to have to cut a promo with. The other, you're going to have to face in a match and go over. And the other, you're going to have to go in a match with and be defeated. So, do you guys understand the rules of this game?
I got it.
All right.
Let's do it.
First, group of 3. And this one's quite interesting. We have the duo of Cameron Jackson, your CJE World Heavyweight Champion, AK-47, the Assassin, and the APW Champion, Corey Graves. I'm going to start with Rick Rios.
I'd love to have another promo with Cameron Jackson. I would want to put over, I believe you said AK, right?
AK-47, that's correct.
I'd put AK over, and I would totally beat the living crap out of Corey Graves.
Man, it's pretty good. Definitely getting your redemption, no pun intended, with our flagship show of the year, but getting your redemption against Graves from Retro Invasion. Big Time Mike.
Well,
PWL.
you got to go first, and you let Big Time Mike go second. I appreciate that. I would love to cut a promo with Corey Graves because Corey Graves is an awesome human being. You know, sometimes he delivers things to the Youth Foundation, and he's a great guy. So I just love to cut a promo with another great guy. I'd also like to put over the Cameron Jackson because he's a good friend of mine, and you know we go back a long time, and I've already done it before, so hell, I'll do it again. And lastly, I'd love to beat the shit out of AK-47 because I haven't done it but a couple times. So I'd love to do it again.
Absolutely, I could, you know, can't get mad at that one. All right, for those keeping track with me, oh God. I'd love to kick Corey Graves' ass. I have no mind and no problem whatsoever from taking a headshot. And Cameron Jackson and I, once we get on the mic, we can definitely work it up. Just watch the contract signing from UW Lockdown episode 7 or 8. I can't tell. Goddamn, it was awesome. All right, next group. Next group we got.
Got the shit out of Everett.
This is going to be interesting. This is the wrestling smart, you know, the technicality, let's say. You know, the guys that like the flips and the flops and the guys that like to be a little interesting in the ring in between those ropes. We got Ellis Taylor, The Bad Read, and Ecstatic. I'm going to start with Big Time Mike on this one. PWL.
I'd love to cut a promo with The Bad Read just because as much as people dislike The Bad Read, he's very talented. You know, he may have some undermining tactics in his character and some notches in his character, but putting all that aside, he's a great dude, and he can really work the mic when he is given the correct material, when he's in the correct situation. So I'd love to cut a promo with The Bad Read. Someone I'd love to lose to or put over, I'd love to put over the Ellis Taylor because some people dislike Ellis. I think he has a lot of potential. And I think that he needs that one little push to get him up there along with a few more. But that one little push will help him guide him on the right track. Because I think sometimes he comes across in a negative way when he's really trying to be in a positive light, if you understand what I'm trying to say. And the last one was Ecstatic, correct?
Yes.
And I just love to beat the shit out of Ecstatic, drop an elbow, throw a suplex, lock in the BTA, break his ankle, whip his ass, and talk trash while I do it. Get that one over, buddy. But I move on.
All right, Rick Rios, Ellis Taylor, Bad Read, and Ecstatic. PWL.
I'd probably say I'd shoot a promo with The Bad Read. I feel like that would go very interestingly. Second, I would definitely want to put over Ecstatic. I had a hell of a match with him already, and I would love to beat the shit out of Ellis Taylor.
Ellis is taking the rotation.
Clear as day to anyone.
Well, Rick, me and you actually have the same one. I was going to state mine, but me and you got the same one. All right, now it gets a little bit funny. All right.
Well, here we go.
Here we go. This is where shit gets a little bit funny. All right, we got Aaron Jones. The Blackout, Aaron Jones. We got the Freak Show Lips.
Oh, God.
And Cage. We're going to start with Rick.
All right, well, I'm going to start off with shooting a promo with Lips because I want nothing to do with him. I don't want him touching me. I don't want to have to touch him. Okay. I would, believe it or not, I would love to put over Aaron Jones because he cracks me up with the whole Ustalo thing. And I think he would, me and him would have a great match. And I'd say I'd like to win against Cage, I think.
All right. Mike, what do you got?
Well, I'd love to cut a promo with the Cage because I've done it before, and I've also whipped Cage's ass. So I mean, ain't really much more I can do with him. But I'd love to cut a promo with him because he's a great talent and he's doing well in the independent wrestling scene. As far as Lip goes, I'd love to put Lips over in a non-homosexual way as possible, just because I think Lips is a good talent. But I think that I would put him over and take a powder because I would then run to the back and jump into a hot shower. That way I could filth off of me. And then Aaron Jones, I hate to say it, but I'd love to lock in the BTA, break his ankle, whip his ass, and talk trash while I do it. Because that's all I got to say about that. Because I love Aaron Jones, but I think sometimes you got to go under before you can go over. And it's time for you to go under, buddy. Under!
All right, we got two more left, two quick ones. First one, we got Jason Walker, Tyler Storm, and Everett Creed. Going to start with Mike.
Obviously, I've cut a promo with Everett before on here, but I would really love to cut a promo with Tyler Storm, just because Tyler Storm can cut a good promo, like the ones that he cut at Best in the Yard and leading up to. I think his promo game has kind of gone down a little bit just because I think the feuds he's been in has been more one-sided with one person doing most of the work, and that's no disrespect to him, but when you have someone that my forte is talking and I'm in a feud with Tyler Storm, it'd probably be best if I did all the talking because it better help sell the match. But I think if we had a long-term cycle to go, myself and Tyler Storm could work a pretty good promo because I think he feeds off pretty good ideas. What were the other two names?
The other two names were Jason Walker and Everett Creed.
Everett Creed, I would love to put Everett Creed over because Everett Creed's a great talent, and I love what he's doing in UWE right now. And as far as Jason Walker goes, well, back to the doghouse for Jason Walker. Boom, bitch! Moving on.
Well said. Thank you very much. Rick Rios, Creed, Storm, Walker, PWL.
Well, I would say a promo with Creed, but we all know that always ends in disaster, so I'm not going to do that.
We have good ones.
I would like to say I want to shoot a promo with Tyler Storm. I would actually want to put over Everett Creed. And I would actually love to beat Jason Walker.
Wow, Mike and Rios got the same one. I'm the only one that wants to cut a promo with myself. All right, and last but not least, this is the grand finale of the PWL this week, and probably my most favorite one. We got now, Rick. There is a KBW superstar in here that definitely draws a little bit of interest. So we got Mick the Brick. We got.
I'm sorry.
We got Mick the Brick. I don't think you even really need to know much about his character. You just got the name just says it all. So,
says it all? Okay.
Mick the Brick, Slick Gibson, and Ustalo. Rick, we're going to kick it off with you.
I'm sorry. Oh. Wow. I'd say I'd have a promo with Slick. Because once again, I want nothing to do with him. I don't want him touching me. I don't want to be touching him in any form or way or matter. I would actually want to beat Mick the Brick. Because that name is just self-explanatory, like you said.
Mike, what the hell's a brick?
I would actually put over Ustala.
Wow. All right, did not see that one coming. Mike, we got Mick.
There's a lot of sleepers on him. Just keep waiting, guys. Keep waiting.
Mike, we got Ustalo, Slick Gibson, and Mick the Brick, PWL.
Well, first off, I want to completely bury Mick The Brick, so I'm going over. And this is going to be about a 2-minute squash, so that's all I got to say about that one. When it comes to Slick Gibson and Ustalo, I would love to cut a promo with Ustalo just because I think Ustalo needs a little bit more of character development, and putting him in a promo with somebody who knows how to really direct and lead one, not toot my own horn, but that's what I do. So I think that would really develop his character a lot more. And as far as Slick Gibson goes, I would have no problem putting him over.
All right, guys, that was an awesome round of PWL, and we got some more stuff coming. But let's take it back now to WrestleCon because there's definitely a lot going on right now. There's definitely a lot of situations. Now, Mike, you were actually the person that called out Rick Rios. Out of anybody on the BYW roster, out of everybody in the community, why did you call out none other than UW's own Rick Rios?
Because it's unfinished business. It's unfinished business. I was, unfortunately, at the time when I first encountered Rick Rios, I had a lot of other things on my plate. I had Cameron Jackson at FBW All-Stars. I had Blood, Sweat, and Tears coming up with Cage, AK-47, and then, to my knowledge, I didn't know, Mr. O decided to put Pac-Man in the main event, which didn't work, as you saw. At FBW All-Stars, I draw the short end of the stick, and I blame that on Rick Rios because he hurt my hip, okay? So it's all about getting revenge and unfinished business. I had to take care of Rick Rios, and I will take care of Rick Rios come WrestleCon because he deserves it. He deserves a good ass whooping. Everybody in UWE has got it. Everybody from the Cameron Jackson to the Skip the Jason Atlas to the Dirty DeChico has it. Even TJ Car has it. And I'll admit that Rick Rios is a great competitor in his own right. But when it comes down to Big Tom Mike and Rick Rios, there is no comparison. Big Tom Mike is up here, and Rick Rios is down here. Rick Rios, you have had to scratch and claw on that UWE programming for so many years, and yet all I've had to do is sit in front of this camera and run my mouth for me to be way up here and you still down here. So in my eyes, Rick Rios, what I'm doing is doing you a favor because once WrestleCon is over with, they're going to be feeding your ass through a tube, and I'm going to send my happy ass right on down the road where it belongs.
Rick Rios, your thoughts?
I'm sure a lot of people know my style by now. I'm more of a let my actions speak louder than my words. So you sitting here constantly running your mouth saying untruthful things nonetheless, it humors me. But knowing that I am the underdog in just about every situation I'm put into gives me more of a reason to put 150% of everything I have into the match I'm in, and I will get the job done.
Very well. Very well said. And, Rick, I got to ask you this now because I know that Zach Daniels has accepted the challenge at WrestleCon, and we are going to be seeing Zach Daniels versus TJ Sakura. But I have also been informed that TJ Sakura, your tag team partner, will be at ringside supporting you in your match against Big Time Mike. How do you think that will favor you against KBW's World's Heavyweight Champion?
It won't favor me at all. He knows not to get even the slightest bit involvement, because whether or not when it comes to the final decision of this match, I'm not going to need help of what I have to do to get done.
There you go. So pretty much what you're telling me is that TJ Sakura is just there to support you and to have the best seat in the house.
Pretty much.
Then
might as well give my brother the best seat of the house.
Now, actually, Mike, real quick, let me get your response before I ask Rick my next question. As far as TJ Sakura being ringside, of course.
Well, the fact of the matter is, it's a good thing that, Rick, you're giving him a seat because he damn sure couldn't afford one if you didn't give it to him. But, you know, TJ Sakura, it's fine. If he doesn't get involved, then I'll leave a little bit for Zack at the end of the night, because if he does get involved, I'm going to whip his ass too, and there ain't no hand on me not putting him in the BTA. There's no ban on me putting TJ Sakura in the BTA. So if TJ Sakura gets his big-ass head in my way, I'm going to break his ankle and talk trash while I do it. So that's all I got to say about TJ Sakura. Him and Ernest and his mama can go on somewhere else. Eat his damn Girl Scout cookies. Don't look at me while I'm at Burger King trying to eat a damn Claremont. I mean, I tell you what, we were at Claremont at the Burger King, and Ernest was outside in the grass watching us eat. Like, what the hell? He can't even have the decency to come inside and sit down next to us. He's just like TJ Sakura. can't even afford his own seat, so he's got to ride on the coattails of his friend to get in the show. And then on the other hand, Rick Rios has to ride on his coattails to get to WrestleCon. So it's a symbiotic relationship. You eat from him, he eats from you, and you throw up in each other's mouth. And then you lose the Big Time Mike, and that's how your story ends. Moving on.
All right. Now, Drew Hood has commented, if TJ gets involved, it won't just be his wrist that's fractured. Now, yes, TJs Car fractured his wrist. Why? Well, because, yours truly at Broken Glory defeated TJ Sakura and fractured his wrist via the Fred Flintstone arm whip. Now, Rick, obviously, our differences will be settled at one point, but right now, UW's got to stay strong and be on the same opinion. I ain't finished with you, and I'm sure you're not finished with me, and I'm sure TJ ain't finished with me either. Nope. But the thing is that UW obviously is going to dominate WrestleCon. We have more superstars of our breed going into WrestleCon than any other federation. So, as far as I'm concerned about this match, there's part of my UW pride that hopes that your hand is raised, but there's also that side of me that kind of hopes that even though you are UWE blood, I kind of hope, well, I can't say Mike using the big TA on you, but I hope he does give you a humble beating. Now, let's do our second event of the CredeCast. Now, this is actually, I was definitely wanted to put in honor of you guys because of not only the BTA, the Big Time Ankle Lock, but also Rick Rios being one of the fastest rising tag teams in backyard wrestling alongside TJs Car and Theory of Perfection. So this next segment of the show is Make 'em Tag or Make 'em Tap. I'm going to name a backyard wrestler, and you guys are going to decide whether you want to tag team with the superstar set in mind or if you would be better off as a foe. You guys both understand the rules of this one?
Absolutely.
All right. So, and obviously, it's kind of like Jeopardy. It's, the answer is make 'em tag or make 'em tap. Now, first up, first superstar on the list is none other than the sinner, Zack Daniels. I'm going to start with Rick Rios. Make 'em tag or make 'em tap?
I'd say tap.
Wow.
And for obvious reasons, nonetheless. But I don't think me and the sinner would connect as a team and have that chemistry and execution done correctly.
I agree. I think you guys would be better off as foes. Big Time Mike, the sinner, Zack Daniels, are you going to make him tag or are you going to make him tap?
Well, I'm going to preface this answer with this. When he stepped in that ring with me at FPW5, man, and I hit him with a couple belly-to-bellies, I actually got charged with child abuse. So it'd actually be better off for me to tag with him because I'd hate to kill him. But yes, I would definitely tag with the center because he's a great performer, a great guy, and I believe we could actually defeat T.O.P. with no problem.
Didn't I pin him to that match as well? Didn't I pin both of you?
I'm not too sure, but
I'm pretty sure I did. Well, okay, next one. Come on, Creed.
The next one in mind is the man that may not even be going to WrestleCon due to his injuries caused that fury. It is the former VTW World Heavyweight Champion, Drew Hood. I'm going to start with Big Time Mike. Are you going to make him tag or are you going to make him tap?
I'm going to make him tag for the sole reason that after Best in the Yard, he became one of my best friends on and off the screen. So definitely make him tags. He's a great guy. He's great at what he does, and he deserves to be in a great tag team with the greatest sports entertainer to ever enter an arena. I mean, that's a damn good Christmas present if I say so myself.
Very well. Rick Rios, Drew Hood, make him tag or make him tap?
I'd have to say tag easily. He's a very down-to-earth person. He's, like Mike said, a very good friend to me, and I feel like we would have a lot of fun as a team.
Absolutely. Now the next one is the man that I will be going on to defeat at WrestleCon, none other than APW's Shavarticus Jackson. Going to start with none other than Rick Rios. Shavarticus Jackson, are you going to make him
tap?
You're going to make him tap. Now you're going to let me finish the damn question. All right. You're going to make him tap. Very well. Mr. Big Time Mike.
Well, considering that his cousin is the best man at my wedding, I can't be causing family debacles. So I'm going to have to tag with him. Shavarticus, he's going to have to lose that theme song, and he's going to have to lose those glasses. But, yeah, we can tag together. It can be Big Time Mike and Shavarticus Jackson versus T.O.P. And, of course, Big Time Mike and Shavarticus Jackson will once again win and talk trash while we do it.
Next one up on the list, and this one's going to be quite interesting. The man that was actually victorious at Fury and caused quite an upset, and the man that called out Litz through his sister Zelina, none other than VTW Tag Team Champion Joe Cool. Going to start with Big Time Mike. You going to make him tag or you going to make him tap?
I respect Joe Cool, what he's done, but the fact of the matter is I want to make him tap just because I don't like the way he looks. He's ugly, he smells bad, and he's got a horrible face. He needs to brush them damn teeth every once in a while, so make him tap.
You make him tap. All right, Rick Rios. Joe Cool, you going to make him tag or you going to make him tap?
Honestly, I'm going to have to go with tap.
You're going to have to make him tap.
There's no like specific reasoning. There's just one step ahead saying I should rather have him as a foe than as a partner.
Very well. I have to say though, I mean, I know everybody's saying how despicable Joe Cool is through calling out Lips, calling him a freak with his sister. I got to say that's what you got to do to make yourself known, is to be the one guy that doesn't fear Litz, but to make Litz fear you. So I got to say I want to tag with Joe. I give him a lot of props. I mean, me and him are not on the same page a lot, but I do respect him. And last but not least, make him tag or make him tap. 3-time Intercontinental Champion, none other than the Bizarre One Goldust. Rick Rios, Goldust. You're going to make him tag or you're going to make him tap?
Tag. Easily tag. No questions about it. Tag. That's it.
Goldust, former tag team champion alongside Booker T, Cody Rhodes, and Stardust. Yes, they are different people. Check out the E&C show. Big Time Mike. The Bizarre One Goldust. Are you going to make him tag or are you going to make him tap?
Exactly.
Make him tap. Boom, bitch!
Got me there, Mike. I disagree.
Oh, man. Big Time Mike versus Goldust. Best in the Yard 2. The search for more money. All right.
Best in the Yard 2.
Yeah, Best in the Yard 2. Currently under production because we're broke and we need income. Now, Drew Hood puts Screw Cousin Joe. God. You know, man, they really can't get along. They live together. So, you guys, I mean, it's going to be quite a trip. I mean, I know UWE's got at least a 7-hour drive. Mike, how long is the commute for you from Alabama to Pennsylvania? How long is that commute looking for you?
In total, it's going to be about 12 to 14 hours, so we're looking forward to it here at Team Big Time and the Big Time Express. We're looking forward to it.
Wow. That's 14 hours. That's how long I'm up in a day. So, holy shit. You know, all right. Rick Rios, I mean, what do we got as far as commuting goes? That's going to be quite a long car ride. You know, I'm not gonna...
A 6.5 hour drive. We have the correct people in the car with us, so I'm sure it's going to be a hell of a drive with plenty of laughs and good music, I should say.
Absolutely. It's going to be quite an insane... Oh, wait. Forgot one name in the tag or tap scenario. I forgot to mention this one name. I apologize. Dirty DeChico, the underground gunslinger. Rick Rios, you going to make him tag or you going to make him tap?
Just seeing how much of a feud we've built up over the years, I'd have to say tap.
Very well. Very interesting. Big Time Mike, the gunslinger, Dirty DeChico. You going to make him tag or you going to make him tap?
To be honest with you drank all my beer at Best in the Yard, but you know what? I'll make him tag.
All right.
I'll make him tag.
Make him tag. That's a scary tag team. You guys are going to go against none other than took a 5-hour drive to Altoona. Cameron Jackson says Seth Maverick is here, so that's going to be quite interesting. And Seth Maverick says 3 hours for me. What are you talking about? Is Seth Maverick going to WrestleCon?
I don't think he's booked.
I didn't think so.
I think he's for a dark match, but I don't think he's booked. Let me check.
He's in the dark match. Yeah, he's going against Silencio.
No, he's not booked? Okay, yeah, he's not booked. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, man, he's going to have to talk to Chuck Price about that one. But anyway, now...
Janice.
Now, Mike, one thing I got to give leverage to both of you guys about, I was doing some searching, and I found some photos here. I found some interesting pictures. And first I'll start off with Rick. You know, I'm on Facebook, and I find this picture of Rick Rios. And the picture doesn't even come full on the shot. This is the best part about it. The picture doesn't even come full on the shot. This picture was taken about 7 years ago, and it was his profile picture. He took it down because he's actually a smart man. But luckily, for my case, he didn't do it in time. Now, I want you guys to gaze at this picture. Mike, you're gonna get a good laugh out of this.
Oh,
now,
no.
This picture here. Now, Rick Rios' head isn't even on the screen because, goddamn, you know. But as you can see, that's TJ Sakura, and boy, oh boy, he's been definitely eating his beans.
Yeah, where did it go?
Mike, what is your thoughts about this picture here of T.O.P.?
See, this is what I don't understand. I got a question, Rick. How do you get your pecs to go all the way around your back like that? And then the fact of the matter is, I think TJ lost his neck. I mean, he's about to suffocate. You see that chin is poking out pretty bad. I mean, this is what everybody really wants to support. T.O.P. at its finest. Only a face a mother could love. Jesus Christ.
Mike, the best part is that this was actually at my ex-girlfriend's house. Well, girlfriend's house at the time. And I'm not even in the damn picture. See, she cropped me out. I mean, I was sleeping on the couch that night.
TJ ate you. It looked like TJ ate you.
Yeah, that's why I really hit him in the head with the fire poker. Man, that was one hell of a. That's where Litz was really born, ladies and gentlemen. But anyways, moving on ahead. Rick, now I know that I kind of put you on the spot, but see, all affections and all positivity comes with a price, because now, Rick, this is your favor. Mike, I actually got a very, very serious and controversial photo.
It's a very recent picture of you, Mike. Very recent, and you know whatever. Just cue
Rick, I'm going to put this up. Mike, we found a recent photograph that was very controversial, very vulgar.
Go on that website I told you not to go to.
Yeah.
I was hurting for money at the time, and Gene told me it was soft. He said it wasn't hardcore.
Mike, I for the sake of my fans, I got to put this up because, you know, I put Rick in his place and for your advantage, and I got to do it for him. Guys, I give you none other than the social media photograph.
Money.
Big Time Mike. Now,
Big Time
for money. I had to. I was hurting for money. I didn't have money to pay the rent.
Look at the realism in this picture, ladies and gentlemen. Honestly, the stomach looks exactly the same. Exactly the same. And look at that face. Same face. Once again, like he's, you know what, I can't even steal his own joke, but it's only a face a mother could love. So I guess we're twinning, Mike.
I guess so, but there's only always one good-looking twin, and that's Big Time Mike. So good thing we're not identical. I sure hate to come out the same vagina as you.
Oh, you got the bucket helmet. All right, then.
I had to put it on because I thought you were going to pull that picture off from the website a couple months ago. But
Everybody's had that helmet on his head. Come on.
All right, now that's quite interesting. You know, I got to do the crop and crop where I put the two photos together. So, and not to mention, now we got a lot to discuss about WrestleCon because not only are we going to see this is BYW SummerSlam, and we don't only just have the battle between two of the biggest icons in backyard wrestling, Rick Rios and Big Time Mike, but we also have a lot going on for the rest of the card as well. First off, I want to confront this man right here, none other than the man that is having another open challenge, the APW champion, none other than Corey Graves. So, Corey, I know I got you here via satellite. I got to ask, Corey, I know, and I really appreciate you here being here. I really do appreciate having Corey Graves here on the CredeCast. But, Corey, I just want to get your thoughts here about who exactly are you calling out for APW WrestleCon?
Well, you guys, I'm not sure, but I think I'm going to make a call for Roman. So, I know I'm not supposed to be on the CredeCast, but I couldn't help. I was a bit nosy about the situation. You know, I'm hoping Owens is the one that answers the challenge. But
Corey, how do you like your sandwich? Do you like it toasted or do you like it? How do you like your sandwich, Corey?
You guys, why does Corey Graves' nose have its own face?
Oh boy.
Oh man, you know, I think of this cow, I think of this Corey Graves, and there's only one thing that I can think of that comes into my head. Pissing earlier on, I looked down at my penis affectionately. Knowing it has been inside you twice a day makes me feel beautiful inside. We're making friends everywhere. Yeah, oh man, he's working too, so I can get away with that. Oh man, so Anyways, let's go through the actual match card because this is actually quite a bit to go over. First off, we got none other than this match right here, which has really caught my eye. None other than Nick Meyers versus the Black Bullet. I know the heads are a little bit cut off here, but we're going to do our best to cover it. Now, I'm going to start off with Big Time Mike. We got Nick Meyers, who has really broke out now in APW. He's left the ESP, joined Powers with none other than Rich Powers. Nick, as Cameron Jackson once said, Nick Meyers has Dick Powers. And he's going against the Black Bullet. And I have word that not only Rich Powers will be ringside, but Anonymous as well in Black Bullet's corner. So, Big Time Mike, what are your thoughts about Bullet versus Meyers?
Well, I've seen Bullet perform live, of course, when I was commentating at Ultimate Redemption, which the fine I have yet to pay off yet. The check's in the mail, by the way. But all jokes aside, I've seen Black Bullet perform live, and he's a great competitor. I think that Nick Meyers has a lot cut out for him, and I don't think he's going to get this job done. Even though he does have Dick Powers at ringside, it's not even going to be a contest. I think the Black Bullet is just going to, cuff him and stuff him, as my daddy would say. But I think Nick Meyers is bitten off a little bit more than he can chew, and I think if he wins, I will be completely shocked. If he walks out of there alive with Anonymous at ringside, I'll be shocked because all I got to do is run around Dick Powers and he'll get out of breath. So that's really no. I mean,
Rick Rios, what do you got as far as Nick Meyers and the Black Bullet?
I don't want to sound biased, but I'm going to have to go with the Black Bullet. I feel like he's just more experience. I feel like he's changed a lot as of late, and there's something off about him that seems like he's on edge or he's about to tick. It's kind of creepy, actually.
He's ticking like a time bomb. And now Cameron Jackson Entertainment puts Dick Powers and officially Jason Walker. I'm just going to say Jason Walker. Hashtag Nick Meyers has Dick Powers. So, they kind of, you got to choose. You got to choose how you make your bed because Nick Meyers made his bed and now he's sleeping in it with his bodyguard name. But now this was now in my eyes, like you guys both said, Nick Meyers has a lot of potential, but the Black Bullet definitely has a lot of experience, which I think would be in his favor as well. Next match coming up on the card, we have the Sinners, Zack Daniels taking on TJ Sakura. TJ Sakura actually called out Zack Daniels, mocking his own entrance. The 7 Deadly Sins, all of this calling out Zack, and Zack has finally accepted the challenge. The match that we were supposed to see at Best in the Yard that we will now see at WrestleCon. I'm going to start with Big Time Mike on this one. What are your thoughts about Zack Daniels and TJ Sakura?
Well, I hope that Zack Daniels has got his head screwed on right because if all goes well, TJ Sakura is going to get his ass whooped for no-showing Zack at Best in the Yard, which he should be ashamed of himself. I think that Zack Daniels is a man among a boy, and that boy is TJ Sakura. So I don't think that TJ Sakura stands a chance against Zack Daniels. They're both great competitors, but when it comes down to it, Zack Daniels is an in-ring technician, and he can whoop someone's ass because I've seen it. He scared me half to death at Best in the Yard, so I can't even imagine what he's going to do to TJ Sakura.
Very well. Rick Rios.
I'm going to have to say that I don't think Zack Daniels stands a chance. The size difference is humongous. TJ is also a well-known technical wrestler, so it's not like it's an easy win for Zack. If anything, it's an easy loss for the Sinner, Zack Daniels.
Well, these two definitely have a lot in common, but they also have a lot of differences. TJ Sakura has claimed all 7 sins against Zack Daniels, and all it takes is one damn hangover, and TJ's on the rack. Now, next match to review, the one that may not even be 100% definite, but I believe we're going to be able to see it. And this is now an elimination tables match, triple threat between the Underground Gunslinger, Dirty DeChico, Thomas Gray, the breakout star of APW, and Drew Hood, who's going to have to get a new match card picture after this because he's no longer the champion. I'm going to start with Rick Rios here. What are your thoughts about this one?
I'm going to have to say, if Drew shows up, if I was Drew or Thomas Gray, I would be scared for my life entering this match against Dirty DeChico, and I think Dirty DeChico will become victorious after this match.
Yep. Big Time Mike, what are your thoughts?
I have to disagree. I think that Drew Hood is going to take this one home because, yes, Dirty DeChico is a tough son of a bitch. And so is Drew Hood. Drew Hood has stepped in the ring with Big Time Mike. Drew Hood has stepped in the ring with some of the greats. He just relinquished the BTW World Heavyweight Championship, unfortunately. But I think he's going to take this one home because Drew Hood has heart and he knows how to work that ring. He knows how to work outside that ring. Drew Hood can take a punch, he can take a kick, he can take whatever you throw at him. And at the end of the day, Drew Hood's going to take it home. And as for Thomas Gray, I don't think Thomas Gray's quite there yet. I think he's out of his league when it comes to this one.
Yeah, Rick Rios has none other than the gunslinger Dirty Chico. Big Time Mike has Drew Hood. I'm looking at all of this, and Cameron Jackson, I got to give this guy, I got to give him all the credit in the world. He is making these taglines really good. For Nick Meyers and the Black Bullet, he puts the Young Rebel versus the Old Law. Very fitting. And then for Zack and TJ, he puts the Sinner meets the Third Eye Theorist. And then for this one, Tables for Three. I couldn't think of more fitting titles for these matches. You can only imagine what's more to come. I would not count Thomas Gray out of this just yet. I know he's got a lot to learn, but at Retro Invasion, I saw him put on the performance of a lifetime against none other than Fat Jack, and I think he's going to use that as a learning experience. Now, I know Fat Jack is not up to the level of Drew Hood or Dirty DeChico, but he is one hell of a competitor. If you don't believe me, ask Cameron Jackson, the man making these awesome taglines. Next up, and here we go. None other than this match right here. You see, now this match, I got to say, choose wisely. Rick Rios, I'm going to start with you. The self-supremacy Everett Creed versus the man that's going to be beaten by the self-supremacy, Shavardicus Jackson.
If Shavardicus doesn't take Everett Creed seriously, he is surely doomed in this match. Because Everett Creed has always been a very evil, sadistic person. Well, not necessarily sadistic, but very evil in his head. And he is definitely not a person to undermine in any sort of way, but I do believe that Everett Creed will become the victor in this matchup.
Absolutely. Me and you have gone at it Ultimate Redemption. You've fought me at my worst. You have come victorious on that night, and I give you respect. But Shavardicus Jackson better take me as serious, if not more serious, than you did at UR. Big Time Mike, we got Everett Creed and Shavardicus Jackson. What are your thoughts?
At first glance, I can say that Everett Creed will probably take this one, but for past events and the fact that Shavardicus Jackson came on your programming, this show, and made an absolute fool out of you, I think he's in your head. And I mean that with all due respect, because you're a great dude and all, but I think that Shavardicus Jackson is one of those young kids that lives all in the hype, and I'm all for living in your hype. I'm all for that, because I do it all the time. But when you're as bad as Big Time Mike, it's okay. But when you're Shavardicus Jackson, you got to wake up eventually, and sometimes just got to enter the nightshade, and that's the end of it. So I think that Everett Creed takes this one.
Very well said. Very well said. You know, look for, once again, Cameron
All Gold Empire.
All Gold Empire. I got to admit, that is an amazing title. Now.
He's on a roll.
Yeah, APW programming. Get the taglines in. God damn it! All right. Next up, we have, oh, God, it just gets heavier and heavier. This one is really interesting because there's a lot of personal twist on this one. The Freak Show Lips versus Joe Cool, one half of the VTW Tag Team Champions. This is a sister story just gone horribly wrong, and Lips' past has been revealed. And I know there's the term of poking the bear with a stick. This is simply poking the devil's sister with your dick. And guess what? Hell's coming for you. And so, Rick Rios, I got to ask, with Lips on the retaliating end of the mind games, but now, earlier today, Lips revealed the Soulless Brother promo, and now it looks like he's coming after Joe Cool. This match has just been made official here at WrestleCon. Lips versus Joe Cool. What are your predictions for this match?
So this is one match that stumped me a little bit. I'm gonna have to go with Joe Cool.
Really? Wow. What's your reasoning behind this one?
I feel like at the moment, Joe Cool, what he's got going on, I feel like he has more momentum going on, more confidence in himself right now than Lips does.
I agree with you 180%. Joe Cool is on top of the world, and even though Lips is seeking revenge, and Joe Cool might have a death wish on that one, but he is still on top of BYW, and I think he's got a good shot. He just can't get in over his head, especially against this this freak. God knows what can happen. Big Time Mike, what do you got between Lips and Joe?
Well, considering that Lips is usually playing the mind games with his opponent, I'm going to be honest with you. I think personally that Joe Cool has got a bigger plan than what he's revealed. He is poking Lips with everything he's got. He is stirring him up. And come WrestleCon, I think Lips is going to be too upset. He's not going to have his head on the match. He's going to just have his head on whipping Joe Cool's ass. And I think that Joe Cool has a trap set, and I think Lips is going to fall right in it.
I got to agree with you guys. I think Joe Cool's a smart man, and the whole thing he's got going on, just literally talking about Zelina and all that, this is really interesting because Lips is usually going into a match to just have his way with you, but this is the one time where he's just legitimately coming after you to kill you, and it's going to be interesting to see. And once again, Cameron Jackson, our tagline, blood is thicker than lust. I'm telling you right now, APW, you may want to start paying the motherfucker because he's giving you good shit. Seriously, they say, oh, we're not going to put him over because he doesn't have good ideas. Look at this motherfucker! He's giving you taglines for your main events. God damn it, you aren't using them. Joe Cool puts a comment, oh my God, Zelina is great in bed, screw you Lips. Oh God. This guy is definitely getting in his head, but he might have a death wish. I don't know. Now, before I get to you guys, I got to discuss the main event for WrestleCon, and that is this match right here. Jason Walker versus Cameron Jackson, the CJE World's Heavyweight Champion. Rick Rios, I'm going to start with you. What are your thoughts of Jason Walker going against Cameron Jackson?
I know firsthand what Cameron Jackson is capable of doing. And let me tell you, I pray for Jason Walker. Because it seems to me that Cameron is very interested, I should say, in this match. And you never know what you're going to get with him. And I just have a feeling something different is going to arouse from this match.
All right. APW says, ever calm down. They... Well, I mean, honestly, these taglines are doing good. I get passionate about Cameron Jackson because he has great ideas for the business. Hell, I had issues with... Actually, I'm not going to say that on here. Now, Rick knows what I'm talking about. Big Time Mike, Jason Walker versus Cameron Jackson.
As a man that stepped in the ring with Cameron Jackson and given him everything I've had, I couldn't beat him. So if I can't beat Cameron Jackson and I'm throwing everything I got at him, Jason Walker cannot defeat Cameron Jackson. Cameron Jackson is a 4-time CJE World's Heavyweight Champion. He is the only man in this industry of backyard wrestling to be what he is. There's nobody else like Cameron Jackson. Nobody else. And the fact that Cameron Jackson has been on Jason Walker's home turf and been in his face and in his head, there's no way that Jason Walker's walking out there with the W. There's no way. No way.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Jason Walker is playing Cameron Jackson's game, and when you play Cameron Jackson's game, you lose. That's the end of the story. That's it.
I couldn't agree more. And APW's got an amazing showcase here, no doubt about it. They are simply... it's going to be awesome. WrestleCon's going to be an amazing show. I wouldn't count Jason Walker out of this one just yet because,
He's a great competitor. I'll give him that. He's great at what he does. But, I mean, it's Cameron Jackson, and he can fight. So, if Jason Walker can't fight come WrestleCon, we're going to scrape him up off the floor. Because that's what it is. When you step in the ring with the CJE, you got to fight. And if you don't know how to fight, then you're out. Sorry.
Absolutely. And I faced Cameron Jackson. I have never faced Jason Walker before. As the self-supremacy, I could say that. But I have seen his finest work. He's defeated many superstars. He's defeated Daisy. He's defeated Lips. He's defeated Anarchy. And the thing is, Jason Walker is even, and who could forget when he called out Drew Hood? All of that, all those mind games, and then Jason Walker got on to defeat Drew Hood. Jason Walker has made great upsets, so Jason Walker may have this, but Cameron Jackson is somebody that I have never defeated before on YouTube, and I could say that the Icon versus the HNIC is going to be one to watch. And I really, and Drew just said, does no one remember that Walker beat Drew, and then he just saw it. Crossover crossed out. And it's going to be wow. Drew Hood has his own taglines as well. Two Worlds Collide, the Subway Stare Down, and the Milk Meltdown. If anyone knows, Jason Walker, never mind. Before I get kicked off of WrestleCon. No. Now, one match to review, one match to go. And before I put the official match card, there was a previous match card for this match. And and Rick Rios has not really been on too many hangouts with this match card, but Big Time Mike has. And I've been in reviews of Cameron Jackson, and the best way he could review this as is two guys that could not wait to beat the hell out of each other and are totally excited to do it. And he has referred to this match card as two pigs in shit. So, as I get this match card up, this is the original match card here for Big Time Mike versus Rick Rios. And there's an inside story that I have put this goddamn Forsaken match card in every hangout that I've been in, and to the point where Cam has literally wanted my head. I think everybody has. So, before I go to the official match between Mike and Rios, Rick, what are your thoughts about this match card?
Pass.
Mike?
Well, in one corner, you've got a great picture.
Here we
in the other corner, you've got, Wilbur in his SWAT vest. But I move forward.
All right. Now, with all jokes aside, it really takes to evolve, and how, pun intended, with the hosting of our WrestleCon event, APW, and we have evolved to Big Time Mike versus Rick Rios. Rick Rios going from the SWAT vest to the Theory of Perfection, and it's going to take absolute perfection in my eyes to defeat Big Time Mike, but Big Time Mike has got to literally draw blood, sweat, and tears to defeat Rick Rios. And he's done it before, and Rick Rios has been perfect before, but only one can stand tall at WrestleCon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys the floor for this one, because you can't really review this match. Actually, I got a better idea. We're going to review this match. And we're going to have this be as biased as possible. They say, I beg you not to be biased. I want you to be as biased as possible. I want you guys to just completely 15 it if you can, but watch out because we're a little late on the clock. So I'm going to start with, you know what? Who needs to start? It's no holds barred. Go for it. Verbally kill each other.
Rick Rios, I've told you once, I've told you twice, and I'm going to tell you one more time. That when it comes down to WrestleCon, this is a man versus a boy. And when the boy steps in the ring with the man, Daddy comes home and Daddy whoops your ass. For years you have sat up there in Long Island, New York, and you have just comfortably moved along down the tracks until you meet Big Time Mike. And once you met Big Time Mike, you knew two things. The one thing was, God, I hope I never have to face him. And the second one is, please don't put me in another match with him. So, Rick Rios, you've already had the first one, and the second one's coming along. You are in another match with Big Time Mike. And this match with Big Time Mike will be your last match. Because, Rick, when it comes down to the Big Time Mike show, when it comes down to Big Time Mike stepping in that ring, there's going to be three things that happen. That's arrive, whip your ass, and do it big time. So, Rick Rios, I hope and I pray to God himself that you have packed the maxi pads and every other menstrual item that you need to get in front with Big Time Mike, because when it comes down to it, Rick, there ain't going to be but one man standing, and that man is your daddy, your savior, and your God, Big Time Mike. And that's all I got to say about that, Rick, so I'm going to let you have the floor since you seem to be so good at this. Go on right ahead, buddy. Go right ahead.
I'll be the
up for you, buddy. He's got him up for you.
All right, well, I'll be the first to admit that I am nowhere close to as talented as you, Mike-wise. But when it comes to brawling, when it comes to wrestling, you know damn well I am just as good, if not better, than you in every aspect of this business. Now, a lot of people don't understand the seriousness of this match. Everyone knows Big Time Mike is going to beat the living crap out of Rick Rios. Everyone knows Rick Rios is going to beat the living crap out of Big Time Mike. It's just all of a matter of the fact who can bring the most hurt. And come this situation that we have before us, I'm going to bring more than enough to get the job done. Matter of fact, I'm going to be the first person ever to have Big Time Mike begging for this match to stop.
Oh boy, Rick. You know, it's good. I appreciate the sentiment, Rick, and you know what? Christmas is a long way away, so it's okay to send you a list to Santa Claus. But I can tell you this right now, Rick. I'm going to be begging for that bell not to ring, because when I'm beating your ass at WrestleCon, you're going to be praying to God himself that he comes down and takes me off of you, because when I'm done with you, Rick, there won't be nothing but a mop on the floor. They're going to scrape your ass off of that floor. And when Janice comes out of that house and I'm saying, boom, bitch, she's going to look right at you and send your ass straight to hell, because I'm not going to be there. That's not on me. That ain't going to be on me. But one thing that is going to be on me is that when WrestleCon's through and done with, and you go back to UW in your little shopping cart or whatever the hell you drive up here, you are never going to be the same. You're never going to be Rick Rios. I'm going to have to retire your ass. You're going to be sitting there at home working at Walmart, because they're not going to bring you back to the UW, because I'm going to bury your ass. And that's all I got to say about that. You piece of trash. I mean, to be honest, Rick, the only reason I wanted this match was so I could whip your ass again, so I could get my revenge from FBW5, man, because what you did was you caused my light bill to go up, and when you cause my damn light bill to go up, I'm going to drop an elbow, throw a suplex, lock in that BTA, break your ankle, whip your ass, and talk trash while I do it, Rick. I'm going to hop in that Big Time Express and come on up to Altoona, Pennsylvania, step out of that car, get in your damn fat-ass face, and say, boom, biatch, because Rick Rios, when it comes down to the Big Time Mike show, when it comes down to it, it's not going to matter what day it is, what time, or what's on the line. I will deliver. And you know the rest. I'm not saying it because you don't deserve it. I'm done with this conversation right now. I'm about to tell Gene to hit my damn music if you ain't got something better to say.
Okay, Ustalo. Okay. Well, lucky for you, I don't have anything else better to say, because everything I had to say has been said. I don't need to keep yapping and yapping, yap all damn night, unlike others.
Unlike others. Well, Rick, with that comment, that makes me think that you might be stupid. Are you dumb? Are you stuck? Are you autistic? Do you have too many X chromosomes? Do you have Turner syndrome? Hell, you might be the one that wants a double clothesline finish, but I'm not judging. The fact of the matter is, Rick Rios, you accepted this match, and now you accepted your one-way ticket straight to hell via the Big Time Express. So, Rick, if you don't know, that come WrestleCon, it's going to be big time, baby, and I'm going to whip your ass, and that's all I got to say about it. Boom! Bitch! I hit my fucking music. Somebody hit it.
Guys, you have just seen what is going to be the preview of a classic, and at WrestleCon it will be a classic. It will be Rick Rios, the hybrid, versus Big Time Mike, the Heart. And I'll tell you what, guys, the Superman Punch may not be used, the Big Time Ankle Lock may not be used.
Maximum bite. Maximum bite. Maximum bite.
Turn this garbage off.
Guys, at WrestleCon, it's going to be a clinic. It's going to be Big Time Mike versus Rick Rios. Only one can prevail, and it's going to be streamed one way or another, whether it's on APW's channel, whether it's on UW's channel. You are going to see two of the best heavyweights that Backyard Wrestling has to offer, and it's going to happen at one place and one place only, and that is WrestleCon. That will be filmed this weekend. It's going to be a clinic. Also, like I said, you're going to be seeing Nick Meyers versus the Black Bullet, Zack Daniels versus TJ Sakura, Lips versus Joe Cool, Drew Hood versus Thomas Gray versus Dirty DeChico, Everett Creed versus Shavarticus Jackson, and Cameron Jackson versus Jason Walker. WrestleCon is going to be an awesome event. This has been the CredeCast, and when it's all said and done, everyone will know that the supremacy is now before you.